welcome back. So today we are going to pack up the truck, head to the Fallen Timber Creek. We did an episode there of test panning, found some decent gold. If you haven't seen that episode, please feel free to go back and check that out once you've watched this video. It's a pretty good episode. So today we'll take the gear down, try and get down to the river, see where we can set up, do a few test pans, run some dirt. I'd like to do a couple cleanouts today. Then come back, run it through the cleanup sluice, and see what we end up with. Now, if you are not subscribed, hopefully we can get you to do that before the end of this episode. And once we hit 500 subscribers, we're right hovering on 400 right now, but once we hit 500 subscribers, we'll be doing a live episode giveaway. We'll give away pay dirt or two, some t-shirts. We have made some t-shirts up, as well as other miscellaneous little things. So make sure that you're subscribed for that. So let's head down to the river. Alright everyone, we made it down to the river here. We're at Fallen Timber Creek. Now if you go back, we did do 2 episodes on the Fallen Timber Creek. The first one was in an area where you can just pan, and the second video was on this location. Now the water has gone down another foot and a half, so it's exposed a little bit more of the bank. So what we're going to do, I did a couple test pans. I did the water in the middle and up here right at the edge of the vegetation. Now I got a few flakes at the vegetation, 1 flake in the middle, and nothing at the water. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up and we're going to run here. We'll probably do 1 or 2 cleanups. I did bring enough fuel this time to go ahead and run a couple cleanups. And we'll see just exactly what we end up with, and then we'll fill our hole back in and we'll move along on our way. So what we'll do, I'll set up here real quick, and then we'll get all our water geared in and our rig set up, and then we'll get going. Alright guys, so the setup that I have is obviously just a straight Highbanker, and then I run your V-mat, which is the bottom layer of my setup. And that goes like so. And then my next layer is the miner's moss. And then my last layer is your riffled expanded metal. So I'll go ahead and set up, and then we'll start running some dirt. I don't know if I'm sweating or just getting sprayed a lot, but anyways, we're about to do a cleanup. And one of the things I wanted to discuss real quick is what I'm looking for. You'll notice that I do stop from time to time and look at this pile. And what I'm looking for is to make sure that there's not a lot of sand in here. The sand should be getting washed through the grading here down onto the mats, because that's where their gold's going to sit. So that's the first thing I look for, to make sure there's not much sand in here, and so far so good. Now the other thing that I'm looking for is quartz. So if we dig through here, you'll see that there's some dirty chunks of quartz pretty much everywhere that we're looking, which is exactly what you would expect. Now there is some roots and organics and stuff with a little bit of sand in them. I never really washed that fully, just enough to get the gold out of it. So this is the kind of stuff that we're looking for. Now earlier when we were first going, if I dig down a bit more, I do see a little bit of sand, but that's until I turned the water up and it started washing it a little bit better. So that's one thing. Another thing that I try to do is about a meter or a half meter to a meter of material per clean out, especially in this sandy stuff, probably closer to the half cubic meter of material run through, because the sandy stuff will tend to clog up the miner's moss a little bit and the riffles underneath the miner's moss. So we'll go ahead now, do a quick clean out, set her back up, and do another quick run. I don't want to do too much. I kind of really want to see what kind of gold we're going to get out of this location, and if we get a whole bunch, then we'll come set up for a nice 14-day run where we'll do this whole bank and clear it right through. So let's do the cleanup, and then we'll set up and go again. All right, guys, so we're gonna do our final cleanup. One of the things you may have noticed me doing was hooking up this hose to this fitting here. The reason I do that is with the final clean out, I want to get all the little heavies and stuff out of every nook and cranny. So what I'll do a clean up the way I normally do, leave this off to the side, and then I'll turn the water back on and we will spray everything. And then once we have everything into our cleanup bin, I'll wash down the machine a little bit. That way when we take it home, it's clean, don't have to worry about anything, and we go from there. So I'll go ahead and do our final clean out now. If you want to look at our hole there, and you'll see that we went down about 10 inches. Some spots I went down as much as 16 inches. We did about 4 feet by 6 feet by 4 feet by 6 feet. And that's 2 clean outs, especially with this stuff because it's so heavy. Lots of black sand, which we'll see when we get back to the cleanup sluice. But we'll go ahead, we'll do our final clean out, then we'll get back on the road and head back to the garage. All right guys, so we did 2 cleanups. And this is the material we got. It's a heavy black and brown sand. So this is gonna be super fun. No. This black stuff's pretty difficult to pan, but what we'll do, we'll get it home, we'll run it through the cleanup sluice, then we will possibly dry it up and use the magnet on it, see how much of this is magnetite, because I know a couple of you have been asking about that. And then we'll pan it out and just see exactly how much gold we got. But before we can do all that, the one thing I'm a big advocate of is making sure your spot looks as close to the way it was when you got there. Making your spot look like it was when you got there. It's not going to be 100% possible, but you can do a little bit of work and get it there. So we'll go ahead and fill our holes in now, and I'll record it just so you can see it. Don't worry about the dog. And I'll record it so you can see that we actually do it, even with visitors. And yeah, and then we'll hit the road and head back to the cleanup sluice. All right, so that was a fun day out. We got a little bit of a visitor there at the end with a few puppies, and now my dogs are in the picture, so right on. All right, so what we ended up with are these 2 pans full of concentrate, very dark stuff, a lot of black sands in here. So we're gonna run this stuff, and we put some jet dry in the water to break up the surface tension, because this smaller flour gold tends to like to just keep flowing with the water. So with the jet dry in, it'll allow it to drop out. And there's not much else to do but just run the dirt. So let's go ahead. Alright guys, so with this stuff, it's a lot of black sand, so the big problem is it fills the riffles up fairly quickly on the cleanup sluice. So we will do 2 cleanups today. So this is how we do it. If you haven't seen, if you've never seen one of these before, I did make this. You can go back and check the video out on that, how to build a cleanup sluice for under 30 bucks. Super easy to clean this out. All you do is just go like this. And that's how it's done. So we'll set her back up, and we will run the rest of the concentrates that we got from the river, and then we will do one more clean out and then head inside and pan it out. Alright guys, so we just ran 2 pans worth of concentrates. I unplugged the machine. Again, we'll do a last clean out. There is a lot of black sands in here, some sparkly, so I'm sure there's some gold. Not sure how much, we'll have to pan it out to find out. Put this in there just because I'm lazy. Alright guys, so you can see there's a little bit of blonde sands, but most of it is that black volcanic ash or whatever that is. So we'll take it inside, pan it out, and see how much gold we end up with. Alright everybody, that's what we're left with. Some big heavy black sands. Let's go ahead and pan it out and see what we get. Alright, let's see what's in the bottom. There you go. There's your gold. Let's dry it out, wait out, and see what we ended up. Alright, let's see what we got. Zero at the scale, which takes forever. And then let's weigh the gold. 0.32. Let's go to the computer and see what that's worth. Alright guys, that was a difficult pan. So the dirt that we got from that area was heavy black. The gold was really tiny. There was a fair amount of it, but it was small gold. So let's look at what we got here. We got 0.32 of a gram. In Canadian dollars, that's worth $23.47. $23.47. Now that is a good day. A good day. Yeah, we were out there a little longer than the last episode. Say about 3 hours of Highbanker. We put a lot of material through. We went down. We went down probably 12 inches, and then probably by 6 foot by 4 foot. So if you're a mathematician out there, you can calculate how many meters squared of dirt we ran. But I mean, I think we've got the machine tweaked out pretty good right now as far as our angles, our water flow, and everything like that. I did do only 2 cleanouts, but the riffles and the mats didn't seem to be too full. So there was really no need to do much of a clean out. So we got 0.32 of a gram, which I'm super stoked about. We can look right now. I will put a map right here of where we were, where we drove right down onto the beach. It was perfect. We did have a little visitor at the end there. There was a family with a few dogs, so they came in and whatever, but that was fine. I mean, it's public area, so you're gonna have people coming in. There's lots of space to set up your Highbanker there, so that's great. Beautiful spot. So I do appreciate you watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so. We do have a website. I'll put the description or the link in the description, sorry, as well as our Patreon page. There will be a link in the description if you really like this video. That's great. We do give away neat things there. As well, our next video will be next Sunday. Yeah, so if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to put them in the comments down below. And if I don't see you around, I'll see you square.